Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my October TBR. So I have quite a large TBR selection for this month. It's just like so many books, two really big books that are going to be coming out in October, which I'm super excited for, and one that I'm currently reading is 650 pages, so it's quite ambitious, but I've been on quite a reading roll, like a streak, so I think it's possible. So, and one of them is an audiobook, so I think I can do it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So the first book that I have here is one that I'm currently reading right now and about 160 pages in, and it is Lethal Right by Galbrath or J.K. Rowling. And so this is the fourth book in the Cormoran Strike series, and so I love this series, and I had no idea this book was coming out until I just randomly searched it on Amazon and I saw this was coming out the next day. So can you imagine what was going on in my mind during this time when I realized that, oh my god, this book comes out? And because the third one ended on such a cliffhanger, and if you've read Career of Evil, you know how it ended, and like the sexual tension between Robin and Strike in here is, like, in the third one, it was crazy. So I'm very interested to see where this book takes them, because I really love them as a couple, and like I honestly could talk about them over and over again. But yeah, this is a mammoth book. It's like 650 pages, so it's gonna probably take me a while to get through, but I feel like it's like on the weekend I'll probably be able to get a good chunk of it done. Like during the work week I average about 50 pages, but I definitely will be reading a lot on the weekend. But it does drive me nuts though that the other three books are black and this one's white, so the spines are really going to drive me nuts on my bookshelf. But yeah, so basically, for those of you who don't know, this follows a detective named a private detective named Cormoran Strike and the adventures that he goes on. So obviously this is the fourth book in the series, so I can't really discuss too much about it, but it also this one in particular deals with the aftermath of everything that happened in the third one. Like, it picks up right where the last one takes off. So you can obviously tell I'm loving it already. So I was really excited to see this one was coming out because it really took me by surprise. And so next was kind of a Halloween reading. So I kind of chose books in here that would be good Halloween reads, or like spooky, or just kind of just fun. So this one is Bloodstream by Tess Gerritsen, and this is the last book on my shelf that I need to read that is by Tess Gerritsen, and it is a medical suspense book, and she is one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Rwoling series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. So basically the premise of this book, and it says, "Lashed by the gentle waters of Loch Lake, the small town of Tranquility, Maine, seems like the perfect spot for Dr. Claire Elliott to shelter her adolescent son Noah from the distractions of the city and the lingering memory of his father's death. But with winter's first chill comes shocking news that puts her practice on the line. A teenage boy under her care has committed an appalling act of violence, and as Claire and all of Tranquility soon discover, it is just the start of a chain of lethal outbursts among the town's teenagers." So I'm really interested to see. She always does a really good job with these medical thrillers, and I always find that I'm always like turning the page over and over again to see like what happens. Like, she's really good. And so these ones, like with like bloodborne pathogens or like viruses, they really freak me out in real life. So I'm sure this one will do just the same as the other ones. So yeah, I'm really interested, and I'll be happy to see that I finally finished all of the Tess Gerritsen books that I own. So I'll be very happy to check this one off of my TBR. So I definitely know this will be one that I will be really enjoying. So these next two books are ones that come out in October. So the first one that I definitely will be reading once it comes out is The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton, and this is Kate Morton's newest book. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I'm the biggest Kate Morton fan. I love her books so much, and so when I saw this one would be coming out, I was like super excited, and I pre-ordered right away, and I didn't even read the synopsis, and I don't want to know anything about this. I'm just going into it blind. But take my word for it, Kate Morton is an amazing novelist. Her books have left such a big impact on me. The Forgotten Garden, The Secret Keeper are by far some of my favorite books, and they're just so good, and I'm really interested to see how I feel about this one. I've been super excited, and the cover is just beautiful. This one comes out on October 9th, so you can bet your top dollar that when it comes in the mail, I'll be like jumping with joy and reading it right away. So yeah. So the next book that comes out in October is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the final book in the Throne of Glass series. So this BookTube really got me introduced to this series because I didn't know anything about it, and I really loved the first two books, and then the third one is where it kind of fell off the bandwagon, so I just did not like the series that the direction was going in. I hate Rowan, and I do enjoy her Court of Thorns and Roses series a lot better, but I'll be interested to see how this series concludes, and I think that's really why I'm wanting to read it, because I just want to see how it ends, and because I'm like, well, I've made it this far, so I'm interested to see how I feel about it and just how it all concludes and all of that stuff. So next is an audiobook that I would like to read or listen to, and it is Scarlet by Marissa, and this is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. And so I've already read this series a long time ago. I want to say at least 3 years ago, and so I've been feeling nostalgic recently, so I've been revisiting some of my favorite series, and so I listened to the first one, Cinder, as an audiobook last month, and so this month I'll be listening to Scarlet. This is my least favorite out of the whole series, so I'll be interested to see how I feel about this now, because I really do not like Scarlet as a character, and this one is obviously centered around her, so I just need to struggle through this one. But I'll definitely be getting this one from the library to rent and listen to, so it's a good distraction when I'm driving to and from work. So, and I know it's a series that I love, and I pick up more now that I know more. Like, I was listening to Cinder last month, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of foreshadowing in here in like the later books, so yeah, I know, like, even though this isn't my favorite, it'll still be an enjoyable read. So this is a book that's been on my past few TBRs, and it's one of the few books left that's been on my shelf for a while, and it is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and this is a true story based on this woman whose DNA was stolen, like her cells were basically stolen from her, and they were used to create a lot of cures for a lot of the diseases like that we know today. And so it's basically talking about the children who find out about this and the medical ethics behind it, because even though her cells were used, like stolen without her permission, they did cure a lot of diseases that we know today. So I think this one will be really interesting. I've heard really great things about this, so yeah, I think this one will be really interesting, and it's been on my TBR for a while, so I definitely will be getting to it this month. And with the orange cover, it is the perfect autumn read, I think, in my opinion. And finally, lastly, this is, I think, the perfect Halloween read, and it'll probably be one that I'll be reading over the course of October, and it is the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So I read the first two illustrated editions a couple years ago, and then when this one came out last year, I didn't end up getting to be able to pick it up. So when I found out that the Goblet of Fire illustrated edition would be released next year in 2019, I'm like, this works out. So I listened to the first two books on audiobook the past couple months, and so I'd be all set to read The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is my favorite. Next to The Deathly Hallows, this is my favorite of the series. So, and I haven't even looked at any of the pictures in here. Like, I just want to be surprised, and it's been a very long time. I think since I first read the Harry Potter series in 2008 when I started high school, so it's been quite a long time. So like, I've even re-listening to the audiobooks, there's so much stuff that I forget because I watch the movies and so much, and then I like just know the movie storyline a lot better, so I'm really excited for this one, and I'm sure the illustrations are going to be amazing, so I cannot wait. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what books you will be reading this month and if you have any suggestions. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.